Well, happy new year to all my people, all my peeps, all those that's been riding with your boy Uncle Fred. Happy new year, happy 2024. 2023 had its share of ups and downs and different things, but we was able, God blessed us to be able to open up a new year, and we're just thankful to be able to do it. We're gonna have a little short show today because I got a game I gotta watch later on. You see what my shirt is. But, I'll let y'all see it. I'm gonna talk about a few things today. First of all, we're gonna talk about the fallout from Refgate. And yeah, that's what I'm calling it because I lived in that era, so I know something about that. I'll teach y'all a little something about that in a little bit. We're gonna talk about the fallout from Refgate for a little bit. And there was actually two calls that was missed. One I alluded to in my last video. We're gonna actually uh, find out that we got a. I mean, I thought Christmas was like a week ago, but apparently we got another Christmas gift, courtesy of the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, boy, we got another Christmas gift. They ain't wrapped that thing up either. So we're gonna talk a little about that, and but the thing is, we gotta take advantage of it now. That's just like getting a gift, and it's something for you to use. Yeah, a gift to cut a new lawnmower for Christmas, and you just leave it in the garage. You still got to cut the grass, you know. So we got to take advantage of it. Then we're gonna talk a little bit about the injury news. Tyler Smith, not bad, but not great, but not bad. We're gonna talk a little bit about that and and then we're just gonna kind of hit on a little bit of the playoff picture, as it sits now. Of course, it all depends on what happens on Sunday, but we're gonna talk about that here in just a minute. So not gonna be on long, but hang with your boy for just a few minutes, and we're gonna talk about it. 2 times. Once again, happy New Year to everybody that's watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Like I said, please hit the like button. If you watch the video, you come in and watch, please hit the like button. And I'll try to watch my chats a little more closely this time. And so, because I didn't, like I said, I was telling you, because I use a Restream um, overlay in my videos, so I don't know, the chats are not up on the screen with me, and maybe something I need to and try to investigate is there's a way I can get that where everything's up on the screen with me, so I don't miss any chats, because I always welcome the opportunity to talk to the people that actually are kind enough to take time out of y'all's busy schedules to watch little old me, run my mouth, what little I know about or whatever, but anyhow, so let's go on with this. So we know the game Saturday night, man, had all our hearts beating and whatnot, and of course it ended in crazy fashion with the Lions going down the field, getting a touchdown, little 5-yard pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then they went. And then, of course, I knew Dan Campbell would go because I was nervous. I was like, dang, I know he's going for two because that's just how he is. This dude went for a fake punt on his own, and I'm mad at Bones for not alerting his guys to that. Watch out for the fake because Bones is supposed to be like the best special teams coach in the league, right? Supposed to be, right? Supposed to be. Okay, we got God on the Eagles too. Dude, you got to always have it in them guys' ear. Watch for the fake. But anyway, that's digress. So we knew he was going to go for two, and then there was a bunch of stuff going on with the two. And then, of course, now and I got the guys' names wrong. It was Taylor Decker and Dan Skipper. Those were the two dudes. And, of course, Panay Sewell was involved in all of it too. So, they tried to run the play, and it was a pass to Taylor Decker. I think he's number 70. 68. And I'm like, dang, now we got 23 seconds to try to win the game. Of course, we had 2 timeouts. But then here come the refs with this, and illegal touching and whatnot. To say number 68 was not eligible. And he didn't report. And this illegal touching downfield. A lineman can't touch the ball past, unless it gets tipped or something past, I don't know, 1 yard downfield or something like that. I can't remember how that thing goes. But anyway, so they wiped it out. So of course Dan Campbell is having a baby on the sideline, and then of course they had to move it back to this 5 yard penalty. They move it back to the 7 because it's at the 2. So he still tries to run a 2-point conversion, which I was like, dude, they're telling you not to worry about that. Just kick the extra point. But and of course, Michael jumps off sides, and then I'm mad at him because that ended up being an interception. And of course, they move it down to, if it was at the 3.5 yard line, and they tried it a pass to the tight end. I think his name was Johnny Mitchell. I had said it was Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it was Johnny Mitchell, a tight end, and he was open, but he wouldn't have scored because I think they would have been on him and tackled him short. And of course, they ended up with that, and they tried the onside kick. We recovered it by CeeDee Lamb and ran the clock out. So, but here's the thing, of course, now. Apparently this is something that Dan Campbell had talked to the officials about before the game, that, hey, we're going to run this play. If a situation arises, we're going to run this play that's going to involve all these missing parts. And it's almost like he went on a diagram, drawed all this stuff. Yeah, the y cosine 3 equals to this. And then, you have to explain all that stuff, right? And so they called the play, and it didn't go like it said. Now, if you see the replay and show as they're coming out of the timeout from the, because once they score touchdown, they go to a TV timeout and they come back for the 2-point conversion. And you can see that them talking on the sideline, the offensive line or whatever and stuff. Now, here's the thing, but people may not understand is that, when you report somebody eligible, the report that they have to announce that to the defense. Okay. So I'm reading here from an article here from Jared Bell of the USA Today, and he says Dallas Cowboys squeaked out a 20-19 victory, not without another layer of controversy attached to the officiating. I've been telling you, officiating been bad this year. It's not only just Micah not getting calls. It's widespread. There's a lot of layers to this thing, right? He goes on to say that it was he said, she said. Referee Brad Allen. What I always say, people, if I know a referee's name, it's never good. Okay, and it goes for the NBA. It's about 4 or 5 referees I know the names of. It's Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, Cade Fitzgerald. If I know your name, it's not good. Oh, NFL, I know Brad Allen, I know John Hussey, and Hockey Lee. I used to know Ed Hockey Lee, but I think it's Scott Hockey Lee now. If I know your name as a ref, it ain't good, right? But anyway, Brad Allen's name's going to be added to that infamous list now, right? So anyway, the was a he said, she said thing, and he announced to the Cowboys defense and the crowd of AT&T Stadium that tackle Dan Skipper, not Taylor Decker, reported as an eligible player on that final play. Now, the Lions, however, maintained that Skipper never reported. But contraire, Monfrere, because I learned something. Because you're always in a learning perspective, right? I learned something. It may have been from was it Emmanuel Acho? Might have been Emmanuel Acho, because he played football for the Philadelphia Eagles and I think maybe Chicago Bears briefly, and he played for the University of Texas. But he said there's a universal sign when an officer, because people thinking it's some convoluted thing you got to do to report. Like you got to go up and write. You got to have this note signed by your coach that you reporting. No. I think he said that what you got to do, it's like you come into the game and you just kind of do this. If you're watching this, you just kind of brush like you brushing something off your uniform, and you make sure that the referee acknowledges you while you doing that. That's letting him know that you're eligible. It's not something that you got to do all this. You got to bring a note from the coach and all that kind of stuff. No, it ain't like that. You come in and you kind of do like that. And if there's a still shot that I saw in all of the stuff and all of the YouTube videos is available, there's a shot of the referee talking to number 68 and Panay Sewell, who is 58, I think. And Taylor Dan Skipper is walking onto the field, number 70, and you can kind of see he has his hands like this from behind. You kind of see his hands are kind of at this angle, and you can kind of see the referee pointing at him. So what's going on? Okay. What I suspect is that the Lions was trying to pull a fast one. You know, it's like a little sleight of hand. In other words, we're gonna we reporting this guy, but really we're reporting this guy over here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they did, and I think they, in an attempt to try to be overly cute, an attempt to be overly clever, try to be overly outsmart, you end up outsmarting the ref. And the ref maybe forgot. You know, a lot of times the last thing you hear is the thing you remember is, okay, Taylor Decker is reporting for eligible or whatever, because that's what they announced over the crowd. So, because if you announce to the crowd that Taylor Decker, that Dan Skipper, is the eligible receiver, number 70, and you announce that to the defense that number 70 is the eligible receiver, why would Taylor Decker go uncovered? That's just something to think, because to me, you got to think things through. You got to think things. You can't, if I know they running some sort of play, they say, oh yeah, such and such is, anytime you before a play, such and such is reporting eligible. Okay, they running some sort of play to make you think they running this or whatever. So I'm going to have in the back of my mind that particular guy is going to get covered. I'm going to cover that guy. Look out, keep the eye out for that guy, going out for a pass, doing something sneaky. He ran right down the field, turned around, the ball was right there. Because the Cowboys had been alerted that Dan Skipper was the eligible, number 70, not 68. And I found, like I said, I was yesterday years old when I found out about the signs and that sort of thing. Now, I don't know. It's still out. The jury's still out as to whether or not only one player can be, I don't know about that. That thing's too convoluted to me, man. So here's my thing on that. If you gotta call a play that's got that many moving parts, why don't you just hand the ball off to David Montgomery and take your chances? Or play fake and go to Amon-Ra St. Brown, or for that matter, Sam Laporta, because apparently we couldn't cover him. I don't know. Just run a conventional play, man. If you're going to do that, you run some stuff. You got to carry the one, and, you got to get the coefficient of all this. Dude, and then once you didn't get that, man, just kick the extra point. Of course, now, I'm thinking myself, of course, I'm not always the Cowboys optimist, except when we piss on ourselves or whatever. But I'm of the opinion that even if they had scored, we had 23 seconds and 2 timeouts. And if we get the ball at the 25, we need about, 25 yards, 35 yards maybe, to get in Brandon Aubrey's range, because he's good from 60 inside in the doors or whatever. And I'm taking the chance on him kicking it from 60. That's at the 40-yard line. So that's 25, 35, 40, 45. That's 25 yards to the 50. And then 10 more yards. That's 35 yards. Okay. 40 yards or whatever. 40 yards. You give me 40 yards, and you got 23 seconds and 2 timeouts. That's probably about 5 plays. I think we could kick that field goal. I think we could have done that. But so we'll never know. So anyway, Lions don't get it and whatnot, so we end up winning that game. You can say controversial. Okay. But here's the thing. Now, I call that thing Refgate because it goes back to like 1973 in Watergate, the Watergate Hotel and the document from the White House and that sort of stuff, and Linderman and Deep Throat and all that sort of stuff. And see, I was a little kid. I lived through that era. A lot of you young folks don't know nothing about Watergate, only what you heard. I was alive when that happened and during Watergate and stuff like that, 73, which is like 51 years ago. So it tells you how long your boy been here. But it's Refgate. And we don't call it Refgate because it's an additional thing. Because in addition to them botching that call or whatever they did, either they over-explained it, the ref forgot who was eligible and said one thing and really should have been another, whatever the case might be. That ain't the only thing. Because in additional to that, the refs also, according to, which I knew this too, because if you remember in the video that I did Saturday night, you remember I said there was something fishy about that tripping call right before the 2-minute warning. I was trying to tell y'all that, right? Because we had just got an interception, and I credited that interception. That's my bad too. I credited that interception to Jordan Lewis, come and jump that route for Sam Laporta. But really, it was, or maybe it was Johnny Mitchell. I think it might have been Mitchell. But it was Donovan Wilson. Okay, that jumped in front of that. So I'm at that. Donovan Wilson should have been on my gets a game ball or whatever. Because Donovan Wilson played a good game too. But anyway, right after that play, we had the ball on the 29-yard line, and they ran an off tackle play to Tony Pollard, and we get down to the 22, a 7-yard game, and here comes the flag. And tripping, number 89. Offense, 15 yards, repeat first down. I'm like, 15 yards. So that means it's going to be first down and 25. Okay. So that brings it back to the 44-yard line at the 2-minute warning. So I'm like, I want to see that play. And they came back from it. They never showed it. They just went on with, first down, and he had the CD Lamb with a 14-yard play, get it down to, the 30-yard line, I think, something like that. And, but anyway, so we find out yesterday, because the refs made a call yesterday, that that crew, Brad Allen, again, if I know your name, they missed the call. And it's not like, it's holding and it wasn't, it's holding this, it shouldn't have been, or it's offside, it was a judgment call. No, it wasn't. To me, this is a worse call than forgetting who you reported eligible. You know why it's worse? Because we find out that they called the tripping on the wrong person. It should have been called on Aiden Hutchinson, because it's like, because why would you call Peyton Hendershot for tripping, trying to trip his own player, his own teammate? That don't even make sense. Okay. Now, sometimes you trip a guy when you're trying to block him or something like that. You sweep the legs out, sweep the leg whip or whatever. Yeah, But no, it was a trip call on Tony Pollard as he's running. And they called it on Peyton Hendershot and not on the person who he should have been on Aiden Hutchinson. Okay? So you gave us a 15-yard penalty, and you should have been penalizing the Detroit Lions 15 yards. So instead of getting the ball on the 44-yard line, we should have got the ball on the 14. 29 minus 15 is 14. Would have changed the entire game. Okay? Because all of the HE hockey sticks that Mike McCarthy is getting for calling a bad game, did kind of call a bad game. Because how many first down run calls did we get in this? Dak had to overcome 2nd and 12, 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10. It had to, create magic and stuff. Where you just do, that's just run, pass it on first down, get 7 or 8 yards, then maybe you can sneak a run in on second down, get 3 or 4, and you got second, third down in like 2 or 3. If you must run the ball, but I'm digressing. But that whole thing changes your whole philosophy of how you call plays, right? What do you mean? Well, we get the turnover at the 29-yard line. We run a play that gets us to the 22. We cooking with grease now, right? Then the penalty moves us back to the 44. So you got to run a throw it because we couldn't run the ball. Remember, we ain't been able to run the ball all game. So he had to throw the ball to get back in field goal range. Now I know Brandon Aubrey can kick from 60, but why make him kick from 60 if you don't have to? Because that would have been like a 58-yarder from 44 yards. Okay. Or 60. Just add 17 to that. So 44 plus 16, 17 is 61. It'd have been 61, right? Now, on a game-winning situation, yeah, you do that, but not in the balance of the game, and then you get the ball where you down it at. So the ball would have been in midfield, down only up 4. So no, you're going to throw the football, okay? And he threw it, hit CeeDee Lamb for 14, which meant his second down and like what 12, I guess. What did it take? 11 off for 25. 14. Second down and 14 from the 30. Okay. And then this is the one that got us in trouble because that's when they went the deep route because Dak saw something or they called something. They got 1-0 coverage or one deep or whatever. That they was just gonna throw a deep one and just and let Cooks run under, but Cooks saw something else and it ended up being a pass into the middle of nowhere, and then of course we had to throw it on third down because we wanted to get a little closer, right? And they threw an 8-yarder to Jake Ferguson, and it got it down to like the 22-yard line or something like that, and we kicked the field goal, and then be a 43-yard field goal go up there. But the point is, when they use their timeouts or whatever, thing is, if we got the ball on 14, they would have never got the ball back. Okay, because we wouldn't have been running the football. They'd have used up all of their timeouts. Or if they would have got the ball back, they would have got it back with like maybe 15 seconds left. Okay, and needing a touchdown. All right. So that's all I'm saying. If they get this call right, then the other thing don't ever even come in, possibly don't ever come into fruition. And then Mike McCarthy don't get castigated for calling a bad game. You called 3 consecutive passing play. Well, yeah, you're at the 44-yard line. You got to get back in field goal range. Okay. And to make sure you go up 7, to give yourself a little more cushion. But I'm thinking even if you're at the 14-yard line, you might could have got a touchdown. Who knows? Who knows what might have happened, right? So anyway, so they got those. So basically we got a Refgate on the hand. So as a result of that, they have said that that particular officiating crew has been downgraded. Expected to be downgraded, which will influence whether those officials are to be chosen for the playoffs. So really, the referee pool is really like 32 teams. At playoffs, ain't but 14 of them get to go on to postseason. The other 16, nice knowing you. So some of the players on Brad Allen's team not gonna make the playoff roster. So it's basically like they are, I don't know, the Denver Broncos or the Cincinnati Bengals or the Carolina Panthers. No, they season's over. They go clean their lockers out. Okay, so they don't make postseason roster. So some of them not be available for the postseason. So it's what it is. But it's something Mike Fisher from CowboySI.com. He's I watched some of his videos. Something he has alluded to, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. You got to make these officials full time, okay? And maybe some of this foolishness wouldn't happen, okay? Because these guys got other jobs. They stockbrokers, they lawyers, they whatever and stuff like that. But then you might say, well, what would you do in the season when they ain't got no football? I don't know. Attend seminars, go to the team's training camps, do some continuing education training or something. Do something. But yeah, they should make these referees full-time positions where they're more, continuity about their jobs, all this kind of stuff. And the NFL got enough money to do it. They could do it. They just won't do it because I think somewhere in the back of the NFL's mind, they're like Jerry Jones. They like the controversy. They like the water cooler talk. They like you talking over that at the water cooler. They work at the coffee, at the key rig in the break room. Yeah, what about that such and such game? Man, that call was terrible. Man, I thought it was a good call. So they love that because that generates interest. Jerry Jones likes that too. He likes the interest. He likes the controversy because that keeps you talking about him, right? I ain't like that. I like, hey, what's right, make it right, do it right, and be done with it, right? So anyway, we'll keep you guys informed as Refgate continues to go on or whatever. So we'll see what's up with that. So anyway, item number 2. I know Christmas had been I don't know, like 6 days previous, but the Cowboys got an additional gift on Sunday afternoon. I'm coming home from church and I'm looking at the score. Okay, Eagles up 21-6. Yeah, that's fine. That's what they're going to do. They're going to beat the Cardinals. I was thinking maybe the Cardinals because Jonathan Gannon is the defensive coordinator. He'd have something for the Eagles offense because he kind of coordinated the defense and stuff like that. And he was there for a couple of years and he kind of knows their systems and whatever. But it's 21-6 and whatever. And I'm like, all right. But man, before we got home from dinner, it's 21-21. And then it's 28-21, and then it's 28-28. When I get home, the Cardinals had just scored to make it 28-28, and then tried an onside kick, which I thought was dumb because it was 5 minutes left to go in the game. But whatever. And of course, they couldn't score a touchdown. Ended up kicking a field goal, making 31-28 with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds or so left in the game. And as I'm listening to the call of the game, I'm realizing the Cardinals hadn't punted all game. And I'm like, say what? Yeah, they had like 500 yards of offense and never punted. The only reason that the score was as close as it was is that Kyler Murray threw like a 95-yard pick six to Sidney Brown. If it hadn't been for that, they would have scored on every drive they had, either a touchdown or a field goal or something or whatever. So, but they take that thing and they go 75 yards and like 6-7 plays, and it culminates with like a 2-yard run by James Conner. I think he ended up with like 127 yards on yesterday too. And they ran the ball for like 240 yards on them. I'm like, good gracious, man. And they scored with like 23 seconds, 24 seconds or something like that. And then, of course, the Eagles couldn't get nothing going. So the Eagles take another L, and they go down 35-31. So what that means, that's a gift. That bad boy may as well have been under the tree with gift wrapping paper and a card on it. Sincerely, Jonathan Gannon and the Bidwells. And we appreciate y'all. Hats off. Okay? Appreciate y'all. Okay? And you go through the, you look at the stats, what happened to my stats? I thought I had some. Yeah. Oh, well. I thought let's see. Anyway, I thought I had it. I had it on my tabs here, but it must have. It got away from me, I guess. Let's see here. Anyway, here we go. So anyway, Kyler Murray threw 3 touchdown passes. Like I said, they never punted. I think I gave them 500 yards. I think they had 449 yards of offense, and they ran for like 220. Yeah, and they held the Eagles to 227 yards. Time of possession 39-39 to 20-21. And they improved to 4-12, and they dropped the Eagles down to 11-5 with us. But it gives us the tiebreaker advantage because now the Eagles have 4 conference losses. Let's count them. Let's count them. Okay. They lost to the 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks, Cardinals, and they lost to the Jets. That's out of conference. The fact that we lost back-to-back games to AFC teams kind of worked in our favor because we only got 3 conference losses. Now, if we fool around tomorrow or next Sunday and lay an egg to the Washington Commanders, then I'm off. I'm off. All bets is off. I'm done with them. Done with us. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with it. Okay, because we got to handle our business. We get a lawnmower. We got to go cut the grass now with it. You can't just So that's all I'm saying. So we got a break. We got a Christmas gift. Eagles who continuing to backpedal and implode, if you will. Some people think that don't mean nothing. Oh, they can just turn it on and flip a switch. I'm like, what other team they can just flip a switch? Dude, they've lost 4 out of 5 games. Okay. And I'm really starting to question the validity of some of the games that they had won early. And really a lot of those games they were lucky to win them. If you really want to be honest with it, that 10-1 was very fraudulent, and I will stand by that. I will argue you down with that because they beat Kansas City, but how good is Kansas City really though? Right now, how good did they really look? And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling had a ball in his hands and would have walked into the end zone and they walk out with that victory. But he dropped it. Okay? All right? And then the next week they beat the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen misses a wide open Gabe Davis in the left corner of the end zone, throws it to inside. I don't know what you were thinking. He's right there and you threw it inside to nobody. And I was calling touchdown as he's throwing it because I'm like, you don't see him? And it would have never even, that would have been the winning score because they were in overtime and they had to settle for a field goal. They would have lost that game, right? And then, of course, when they played the Cowboys, think about this. We had the ball at the 6-yard line and Terrence Steele gets beat on like 2 consecutive dropbacks and we end up in a false start and we end up all the way back at like the 35, 40-yard line. I'm just saying what ifs or whatnot. So that's not act like them 10-1 they was dominant because they weren't. It means something to me if you just skating by every team. No, you should be able to create some separation. People will say, "Well, you didn't show me nothing with you won a 1-point win over the Lions, but the Eagles got several of them wins. 1 point, 3 points, 5 points. You got a bunch of those. How many dominant wins did they have? I think they had a 14-point win over the Dolphins. That's it. All of them was 1-possession games where they kicked the field goal late, they salted out or whatever, or got a first down late to salt it away. Everybody playing the whole 60 plays. I'm trying to tell folks, man, I be knowing what I be talking about, but they want to argue with you. But I know my stuff. But anyway, Cowboys get a gift. And if we go and handle our business next week, Washington Commanders who are trying to lose, but they love nothing better than the upset our apple cart. I think they've got 4 wins. I think they 4-12. So if they lose, they'll be 5-12, and they'll be 5-13, 4-13, and they'll get probably the 3rd pick in the draft. And they'd love to get Caleb Williams because he's from there. They would love to get Caleb Williams. Okay. So we get a thing there. So anyway, we got to handle our business and everything. So the news we get out of the game Saturday, we get a report about, 3rd quarter, Tyler Smith goes down and he's holding the back of his ankle. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm hoping and praying that's not an Achilles. I'm hoping it's not an Achilles. I'm hoping it's not an Achilles. Okay. And that's what I hope it ain't a calf strain either, because a lot of times a calf strain can lead to an Achilles, a la Kevin Durant, So we come to find out that he has a torn plantar fascia. And I'm like, dang, that means he's going to miss the playoffs. And I'm like, and I kept reading because, you're learning things all the time with this stuff. So I found out, no, if he completely tears it, it's actually good because it can kind of repair and then whatever, as opposed to if you partially tore it. So it's a complete tear. And they said he could possibly play Sunday. And I'm like, I don't know if I do that. You best get Tyler Bass get Bass ready to play left guard, and we'll work with that. As long as Tyron Smith is that good, we good, right? We be good with that. And but yeah, so we got that going, and then of course I think I've been hearing that Jonathan Hankins is coming closer to being ready to play. But I'm on the same page with him as I am with Tyler Smith. That of course now if we win our game on Sunday, then we get the number 2 seed. We don't get no time off, obviously, because you only get one bye now. But you do get a home game, and you get a week. And of course, you let them guys have an extra week off so they can be fully prepared to play. And I think that would be good because I really think we can sit T.J. Bass, and I think we could sit Jonathan Hankins and still beat the Washington Commanders. I'm not being arrogant. I just think we can. I think we got enough collection of talent to win and be up enough and get some guys out the game late so we can get ready for the playoffs or what have you. So. But anyway, that's the news on the injury report. So as we look over this, we get ready to close this video. I was watching the game last night, and I know we're in a different position now because I'm looking at the before yesterday. I'm looking at the Saints and the Buccaneers. I'm like, okay, those are two potential opponents for us right now, and I'm watching them play. And I've been watching them. I saw the game. I saw the Saints. Tampa Bay have been playing well. I think they won 3 or 4 in a row, and they lose to the Saints, who've been suspect all season. And but with the Eagles losing, that puts us in a different perspective. So if we win that game Sunday, now we're numbers 2 position because we obviously get to position over the Detroit Lions because we beat them, right? Now I'm starting to look at some of the other teams we could be playing. So I was watching the Green Bay Packers last night as they played the Minnesota Vikings. Look, man, I think if we get certain things and going our way, I think it's not a whole lot of teams I think we can't beat. But that Green Bay team, man, if Jordan Love plays how he played last night, the dude, he threw for like 340 yards. Shoot, let me just where's my phone? I was gonna look him up. And he threw 3 touchdowns. He's got 30 touchdowns and I think 7 interceptions or something, 7 or 8 interceptions now. And then they can run the ball with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And then they got these receivers, Dobbs, and they didn't even have Christian Watson. They got receivers, Mike LaFleur. He know how to call a game if he got his quarterback and him is on. So, yeah, that ain't gonna be no cakewalk, man, because they're starting to play better. They're starting to come into their own. They beat Kansas City. They beat some good teams, man. They're playing some good football right now. And how we're susceptible is against the run because we got a philosophy of we playing big nickel, big corners, big safeties instead of linebackers. And Aaron Jones can run that thing. Let's not get it twisted. A.J. Dillon can run that thing. It's another 1-2 duo like we just played Saturday, with Montgomery and Gibbs. They ran for 124 yards, which is about 17 yards below their average, but still, and so that's going to be a thing. So, and then you look at also the Los Angeles Rams, who had a close call winning the against the Giants. Mason Crosby, who played for Houston, he kicked our hearts out back in 2016, kicking that cross-continental field goal, as Skip Bayless like to call it, to knock us out of the playoffs in 2016. But he missed a 35, 40-yard field goal and allowed the Rams to win that game. So the Rams are 9-7. I think they're going to be in the of course, now they play the 49ers next week. The 49ers are number 1 seed. 49ers might sit everybody to get everybody rest. Okay. So the Rams might could win that one and go 10-7. Who knows? Whatever. But that could be our opponent or the Green Bay Packers could be our opponent. Both of these guys, now we've already beaten the Rams, but remember, we beat them without Kyron Williams. He had just got put on the IR, I think, the week before when they played Pittsburgh, okay, or the week before. And that's an 1,100-yard rusher who missed like 4 games. Kyron Williams is a dude, okay? And we know we really kind of scuffle stopping teams that like to run the football, right? So that's something we got to get fixed. So I would not be like jumping up and down because we get, the number 2 seed, because you end up playing a higher seeded team, okay? Maybe a team that didn't win their division, but you'd certainly rather play the Saints or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rather than the Rams or the Green Bay Packers. Just saying. Okay, gotta get our act together. Gotta tighten it up. Okay. But anyway, that's what the playoff picture looks like. And there's teams like the Seattle Seahawks, who took a tumble last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that kind of knocked them play out. That some other things have to go because the Rams own the tiebreakers over them because the Rams beat them twice. So right now, the Rams would have to lose, and I think Green Bay would have to lose to the Bears and then the Seahawks would have to win. I don't know who they play Sunday in order for them to get in. So they're right now on the outside looking in. So we'll just see how it is. But I'm thinking it's going to be either the Green Bay Packers or the Los Angeles Rams. So we better get our chin straps buckled up because them teams, they're better than their record indicating. They're playing better ball as the later part of the season approaches than they were playing earlier in the season. So we hopefully get our stuff together because we don't want to be a one and done and lose to a team that just barely made the playoffs. We need to get our stuff together. But anyway, that's all I got. Because like I said, I got a ball game to watch. I roll with the Cowboys. It's all the Cowboys, but also, so my tree, I got this right here. So we get ready to play that Rose Bowl and the national championship semifinal. So I got to see what that's all about. So like I said before, like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. That's all I got, man. Happy New Year from the desk, Uncle Fred. We catch you guys on the next video.